The voice, the style, unmistakable. Tony Bennett, whose legendary career spanned nearly 8 decades, died today. He was born Anthony Dominic Benedetto in New York back in 1926. He dropped out of high school at age 16 to work as a singing waiter. In 1949, he met Bob Hope, who advised him to change his name. The rest is music history. His fame was worldwide, but it may surprise you to know the special impact that signature song had on a group of very brave Americans. Our senior commentator, Leon Bibb, tells us why.
Let me sing forevermore.
Tony Bennett has died, and a little of me left with him. I am deeply affected by the passing of one of the great singers of what is called the Great American Songbook. Although I never personally met the great jazz and popular music singer, his voice has been one of the soundtracks of my life. I saw him in person twice when he performed in Cleveland. His mellow voice and wonderful phrasing has been a part of me ever since my childhood, when I first turned on the family record player and heard Tony Bennett's wonderful baritone delivery. His music became my music. When I heard the news that Tony Bennett died at the age of 96, my mind flashed back to his signature song, I Left My Heart in San Francisco.
I left my heart.
Over the years, other artists have sung it, but it was unmistakably Tony's. My mind raced back to the airplane I was on, which was leaving San Francisco, taking me in 1967 to the fight in the war in Vietnam. In Vietnam, the song was often played on Armed Forces radio. Most of us in the war knew San Francisco as our exit point from the United States. When we would return, San Francisco would be our entry point back home. Home, America. As Tony Bennett sang it, we soldiers echoed the sentiment of the song. Yes, we left our hearts in San Francisco, a city that represented what coming home was all about. Tony Bennett and his song went to war with us. So at the passing of Tony Bennett at age 96, I am saddened. And at the same time, I am celebrating the life of a man who touched my heart with all of his music, including the song which was also my prayer to come home from war to the U.S., where I had left my heart. For 3 News, this is Leon Bibb saying, thanks, Tony.
Tony Bennett had suffered from Alzheimer's disease the past few years. He died at his home in New York City. Let's take a look at the scene in Hollywood, California tonight. Flowers placed on Bennett's star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. He was a cool guy. A few years ago, I got to meet him as part of a morning show. And at the end of the segment, I said, that is Frank Sinatra's favorite singer. Sinatra called him his favorite singer. Amazing. And Tony Bennett came up and he said, what is your name, young man? Yeah. Thank you very much for saying that. And he shook my hand, a moment I will never forget.
He is indeed a giant. I was telling Matt and Laura earlier on the 7 p.m., one of my favorite songs of his he did with Aretha Franklin. It was a duet, How Do We Keep the Music Playing?
Ah, very nice, very
Beautiful
nice.
Song. Also
Also has an album from 2004, if you're a Tony Bennett fan, one of the later albums called The Art of Romance, which is fantastic. And listen to that on the way home.
Okay, all right, I'll be serenading Pepper later on tonight when I get home.